Is money tight and the pressure rising? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to stop your bills from bankrupting you, but how to build something instead so people buy from you. I read a book when I was younger. I was about 16, 17, maybe 18 at the time. This book had a powerful gem in it, which I've remembered ever since. And this is something you can use at any time, which can help you get out of financial hardship and move closer and closer to financial freedom. I remember reading the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a famous book where Robert Kiyosaki talks about his rich dad and his poor dad. His poor dad was his actual dad and his rich dad was his best friend's dad. And it's powerful because as he breaks down in the beginning of the book, he talks about the difference between his poor dad and his rich dad. And as he's introducing the rich dad, he reveals this concept, which is so powerful and it's something that you need to use to help you avoid your bills breaking you and actually build something which can have people buying from you instead. The part I remember so powerfully is when he talks about how his rich dad said to him, Robert, whenever you listen to poor people speak, whenever you listen to them speak about buying something or investing in something or doing something, a lot of the time you continue to hear them say that I can't afford it, I can't do that, it's impossible for me, etc. But what his rich dad told him was, rich people don't behave like this. Rich people don't think like this. And significantly, rich people don't speak like this or act like this. Rich people, Robert, don't say, I can't afford it, like poor people do. And Robert Kiyosaki mentions how his poor dad would speak like this and behave like this all the time. He says, Robert, rich people never say, I can't afford it. They ask a better question. How can I afford it? And when you think about those two statements, one disempowers you and causes you to stop if you were ever moving in the beginning. But the other statement empowers you and motivates you and gives you the fuel to move forward. The moment you say, I can't afford, your mind shuts down. But when you ask the question, how can I afford it? How can I do this? Your mind, which is a powerful computer that God has given us, begins to work. It begins to calculate. It begins to move forward in a way in which pushes you closer and closer to the thing that you want. This is something which I continue to think about as time goes on. And I'm going to show you how to practically use this in a moment. Because as I've continued to grow as a man, one of the things I've realized is, it's like, I mentioned this in previous videos, like you can think and spend your time focusing on yourself and your limitations and your weaknesses, etc. But me as a Christian, I just say to myself, you know what, my weaknesses don't even matter, because the Bible says to me that in my weaknesses, that's when God is strongest. So I don't think about where I'm limited or where I'm weak. I think about God being the limitless one, the all-powerful one, the all-wise one. There's no equation that I can't solve because God has all the wisdom. There's no mountain I can't move. There's no obstacle. There's no giant that can stand in front of me that's ever going to be stronger or wiser or bolder than the God that I believe and serve. So that statement, I can't afford, and that question, how can I afford, I've found as I go through life are one of the major things which separate people that are poor and people that are wealthy. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I want to be wealthy. Right? Because I don't believe the lie that poverty is piety, that you have to be poor in order to be righteous. So because I don't believe that lie, the simple equation for me to follow at that point is, what are the things which wealthy people do? And how do I mimic, how do I copy what those wealthy people are doing? So let me give an example. So a few months ago, my daughter started swimming lessons. And obviously, as you know, it's a new bill. And I want to walk you through this process, which this is how I would have done it before. These are the kind of things I do now. Before, I would always be like, well, I can't afford this, or I'd make some excuse as to why we can't do it. But I just ask myself, as is the right way to do it, how can I afford an additional monthly payment, etc.? Because with every new expense, you have the ability to create a new profit mechanism, which can pay for that thing, but can also pay for much more than that thing now, but also beyond. So let me give an example. So as I'm thinking through this framework, you know what, my daughter's about to start swimming lessons, and I'm not thinking, well, I can't afford it. I asked myself the simple question, well, how can I afford it? One of the things I said to myself was, well, I can create a product where I'm helping people with a big problem that they have with information and expertise that I have. So I start doing inventory and I start thinking to myself, okay, Israel, what do you have in your hand? What skills do you have? What abilities, unique abilities that you have, which other people see as valuable? So I say, okay, well, one of the things I have which is valuable is I know how to get traffic. I know how to get traffic to people's businesses. So I say, well, I launched this YouTube channel a year ago and it started getting thousands of views from the very beginning. Israel, that's a good idea. But are there loads of people out there who would want to know how to start a new YouTube channel and get thousands of views from the beginning? Yes. All right, cool. So this is what you're going to do, Israel. You're going to make this product. What's the product going to be called? Well, let's call it Create Crowds Quickly, because it explains specifically what the product is going to do. It's going to show you how to create a crowd of people quickly. And in that product, I'm going to show you how to get thousands of views on a new YouTube channel as a traffic source into your business or for whatever you're doing. So I came up with this idea, and this is all off the backdrop of how can I cover this new expenditure. So I now mention it. I say, look, this Friday, I'm going to be walking through this product where I'm going to be showing you how to create a crowd quickly. And I'm going to show you exactly how all of the stuff I did on my new YouTube channel to get thousands of views from the very beginning. If you want it, go and pay me some money. And you know what happened? Some people bought it. Now, in order to pay for the swing every month, let's just say I need to sell 1.5 of those every single month, right? Just to be safe. You know what? Let's even say 2. People paid for the course and I said, okay, cool. So now you're going to join me on Friday. The Friday came, I did it live. It was a success. It was good. And then, you know what happened after that? I said, well, I've done this once. If these people wanted it, I can sell this again to other people who I know want this solution, because this is a painful situation to be in. So I start offering it to other people. I leave it linked in the description box below. I'm offering it on different platforms, etc. And you know what happens? More people start buying it. But the great thing is, some days, 2 people buy it. The other day, for example, 3 people bought it. 3 people from different places in the world bought this product. But in my mind, remember, I used the swimming lessons as an example, as a reason to create something new, to pay for a new expense. This is a product that people can buy every single day. And many days people are buying it. So every single time in the month someone pays for it, someone buys that product, it covers the swimming classes, but it continues to pay me multiple times in the month. So my daughter is a really good swimmer, so her lessons aren't going to be going on forever. But the moment those swimming classes stop and we stop paying because she's learned the skill, guess what people are still going to be paying me for as long as I keep selling it? Create crowds quickly. What other things do I have which I can build so people can buy from me instead of allowing any bills to bankrupt me? When I say, well, traffic is good, but I also know how to get leads. So I ask myself the question, Israel, how can I build something else which can cover bills? I'm going to create a product called 24/7 leads, because I'm going to show people how I get leads rolling into the business 24/7, like clockwork. Because so many business owners out there know that without leads, they don't get any sales, and without sales, their business is bankrupt. And at that point, their bills will bankrupt them. So I'm going to show them one of the easiest ways I know for them and for me to get leads rolling in 24/7. And then just like create crowds quickly, people want this and they pay for it and people buy it every single day. But I went to bed last night. This morning, I woke up, prayed, I read the Bible. And as I went to do exercise, I went to get my phone. I'd seen that around 1 a.m., someone had bought 24/7 leads. I was sleeping, but because I've built something which allows people to buy from me, that stops any bills I have from bankrupting me. And if you want to know how you can take your skills and expertise and turn it into a product that people buy from you in 48 hours or less, watch this video right here next. It will show you exactly what to do. Go win, and God bless winners.